Yeah, so it's a 95-room lodge property. It's almost 120 miles north of Anchorage, very remote property, and that these buildings hadn't been renovated for 20 plus years. They reached out in August, and then by end of September, we were engaged for design, initial services for building scanning, and then by October, we were engaged for the full project. So it was a very fast timeline.
This was a project that really highlighted our methodology and how we work together. Initially, this was a pretty scary timeline from a procurement standpoint, and I think one of the hardest challenges was finding products that could withstand the harsh winter conditions, as well as coordinating a timeline that would get the products to site through all the logistics challenges. This really pushed our limits, and we were so excited for the challenge because every step of the way, it was one of those things that usually on a project, you have one thing that you're trying to overcome, and this project had many. So we were aligned very early in the project, and we were able to specify things that were actually in stock or could meet the timeline and not lose design intent.
So this client was looking to maintain that essence of the guest experience from the cruises onto the actual property on land. There were a few things here and there that we were able to grab and apply. Simultaneously, they also wanted to have some similitude between the other land properties that they have and this one. And so we grabbed a few cues here and there and made sure that there was continuity.
There is stores and suppliers out there, but they all carry very limited products. So we explored the options of individual shipping right from the vendors and also consolidating the product in Seattle here in a warehouse and packing it into containers, shipping it ocean freight to Anchorage. So we found a partner that would do that for us.
And one of the biggest challenges was Chinese New Year. It's not something that people always are aware of, but there are certain cutoff dates to get certain orders in and to get things into production before the factories shut down for a few months. John and I worked very close on the logistics plan in understanding how many pieces and how many overages we needed to order for every specific item because, like they had said, the nearest town is 45 minutes away. You can't just run to Lowe's or Home Depot.
In December, it turned pretty nasty and we got a lot of snow. It snowed almost every day. They had a big ice storm at the end of January when we were to mobilize. Approximately 4 feet of snow fell along with ice. Power went out to the lodge. There's the one power cable goes across the river right there by the lodge, and the ice took it down. So they were without power on site for close to 2 weeks. We had to go and check on our products, make sure that they hadn't been frozen. So I went up there when the crew was to mobilize, and the highway was down to barely 2 lanes wide with snowbanks 3 inches thick in ice. They continued to get snow throughout the rest of the winter. So the crew was having to clear pathways to the buildings so they could work every day. It was very dark.
We had a couple of about 9 feet high art pieces in all the lobbies and making sure that those pieces represented the area. I think it was a very exciting thing to work through. And also, it was a bit challenging because these art pieces were pretty big. And so getting them on site, making sure that they were able to be produced. You could go with canvas, but canvas wouldn't work very well with temperature. And so Katie here we did a very good job in helping us find the vendor that would provide that piece that would actually look good and survive the weather. So I think that was one of my favorite pieces.
Yeah, it's definitely a dramatic impact when you first enter the
Huge.
lobby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our team does go the extra mile to make sure that we are listening to the client, that we aren't losing out on any opportunity to give them what they want, and working closely with design to make sure they have everything they need.